Stories of witches and warlocks in Scottish folklore have been handed down the generations, the most famous Scottish witches being the three in Shakespeare's play Macbeth. Charms and incantations had been used for centuries to help heal and ward off disease, but this was a threat to the Church, who sought a God-fearing society. The Witchcraft Act of 1563 outlawed sorcery, and anyone either practising or consulting with a witch would be found guilty of a capital offence. During the reign of James VI in the 1600s, a witch hunt began that would last over a century. Getting witches to confess came in all forms, with over 75% of those accused being women who were generally old, poverty-stricken, or seen as outsiders. Sleep deprivation would be used most. They would be held in confinement but not allowed to sleep, so in their exhaustion would confess. Pressing was also carried out, where the victim would be placed on a flat surface with weights added to a board that covered them. Ducking was a method James himself preferred, as the water would cleanse the alleged witch, but Scotland generally used the pricking method. The witch would be pricked with a 3-inch iron preen or pin that was pushed into the body down to its neck, until the devil's mark was found. Here they felt no pain. With these threats hanging over people, it's little wonder women felt afraid if accused of witchcraft. On 16th July 1618, the first record of a suspected witch at Logie near Stirling was Bessie Finlayson. She was taken to the local minister, Henry Shaw, by Archibald Stirling of Keir, who claimed she was a witch. She had been held captive by him for a number of days beforehand, and he wanted the minister to find out if indeed she was a witch. He wished her to be questioned on positions and points of witchcraft at a trial, but whether this happened or not is unknown. However, the women who became known as the Logie witches in the 18th century were allegedly seen by a local minister. Around 1720, several old women were labelled as witches by locals, as they had a reputation of being rather strange and unpleasant. They were believed to meet around midnight and speak to the devil, who appeared in front of them in several different forms, but mainly as a shaggy dog. Carley Crag, above the old ruined church, is said to have been one of their meeting places. The local minister claimed he saw them with the devil, disguised as a dog, on numerous occasions, and even heard them converse. One day, an elder of the kirk at Logie was on his way back from a shooting expedition on the hills when he suddenly saw a black dog. Remembering what the minister had said about the devil disguising himself as a dog, he knelt down and readied his gun. He'd found it at Sheriff Muir some years before, presumably abandoned following the battle there in 1715. He loaded it with a silver coin, which was believed to be the only metal to kill the devil, and fired the shot. It hit the animal, killing it instantly, and he watched as it tumbled down the hillside. With adrenaline pumping through his body, he ran and found the minister and relayed what had just happened. They decided that the next morning they would go and find the animal's body, but to their dismay, they found not a dog, but the bodies of a pet goat and a woman who had been a respected parishioner. The men were upset by the tragic case of mistaken identity. From the pulpit the following Sunday, the minister stood before the congregation and explained that the devil came in many forms and warned he would never be killed with powder and shot. Only the Word of God and the Bible would destroy Satan. He would also have made sure the church bells were rung loudly, as it was well known the devil hated the sound of them and would run away. As for the alleged Logie witches, it's not recorded what happened to them, but fair to say they probably died of old age and weren't witches in the first place, but women who had simply fallen out of favour with their neighbours. At the end of the 19th century, the last recorded witch in Logie was Ailey. Older people remembered her being like the witches, but one who healed rather than devil worshipped, although they were probably just healers too. Sick children would be brought to her and blessed, with folk travelling quite some distance to see if she could help their child. She would blow on their faces, and this allegedly would ward off the devil and any other evil spirits. Another story relating to her was that if anyone was buried in Logie Kirk graveyard on Halloween, the 1st of May, and other such days without her blessing, their souls would remain restless for eternity. Today, the tree-covered Carney Crag is a haven for witch and ghost hunters who hope to catch a glimpse of its sinister past. If you enjoyed this episode of Scotland's History, please like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, thank you for watching.